So, hi and welcome to RunMonks, the Zen mode for runners, a platform where we encapsulate, engage, and collaborate with thought leaders, runfluencers, and athletes from different walks of life, and bring out engaging, thought provoking, and inspirational stories and best practices and tips which will enable you to be the better version of you. Today, we'll be talking about one of the most dynamic women I know, a homemaker, a marathoner, an avid fitness and gym enthusiast, a holistic wellness coach, a vociferous reader and writer, a person who transformed through pain, struggle, and inspiration to many of us, Sapna Agarwal. Hi, Sapna, and welcome to RunMonks.
Okay, so you were giving introduction of me. It is so overwhelming to hear something, the kind of life you have led. When you actually someone vocal it is like, oh my God, is this me you're talking about? Because I still believe that I am that ordinary person who I started this journey like, and I still belong to that category with which people can relate me to. So what you talked about me or shared is, I feel so special hearing that. Thank you so much for such an overwhelming introduction. Thank you, Kushal.
No problem. And, I have been following your journey as a runner, and I believe, it had to be, somebody to bring out the kind of story that, your journey has been. So it's pretty inspiring to say the least. So with that in mind, let's, talk about, what was your, background or the inspiration or any trigger that actually sort of helped you to pick up the habit of running. So can you actually talk about that?
So actually, this space would be a small one to briefly share how I began my journey, but still I will try. So I was born and brought up in an Orthodox Marwari family. I am from Kolkata, and my father is, he always used to take care of how we feel and how we are happy always, but he was very conservative in his mindset. So I was always a very good student, and I just kept my nose digged in books, and I did not realize how after I completed my graduation I kind of would eat and study, eat and study, eat and study, and by the time I completed my studies I was almost like 85 to 87 kgs. And it was a very small incident. My friend just told me, now you're done with your studies, it's time you take care of your health. So it could have been anything else, but I took it so seriously, and from there began my journey into rediscovering myself. So I went to my father and told him that I want to lose weight. Can I join gym? So this came as a sudden surprise and something like, oh my God, what she is even asking. So he told me that you have to do whatever you want within the four walls of the home. We don't belong to that space where I can send you to gym. And with limited choices that I had, I started mopping and cleaning the floor 2-3 times. And with that I could see that it was not making too much of a difference, and the kind of thought process or exposure I had that time, I started doing crash dieting. Yes, I want everyone to hear that. I started doing crash dieting. With that I stopped eating a lot of food with no knowledge or professional help or anything like that. I lost around 25-30 kgs in 6 months time. For many people it was like something wow. Okay, and I also felt great. So many people would not recognize me from 87-88 kgs to around 50-55, and I actually suffered a big identity crisis that time, and I did not know. And then I proceeded further in my life, got married, and there I realized that there is something missing in my life, something missing in the intimacy which couples share as husband and wife. And I realized that it has to do with the damage which I did with my body when I was still a young girl. So I looked young, but inside my body was like you can say like an old woman, because the muscle mass, the tonality, all the strength I had lost by doing crash dieting. Why I always make it a point to mention is that many people fall to this trap and they don't realize what they are doing. So when you are losing weight, it has to be the right weight. It is not about losing weight, it is about gaining health. Then in after I there was always some kind of thing missing in my life. I would miss that sense of self-worth. I would always look for validation in other people's eyes. I would always feel that I am a misfit in this place, because I would lack that spirit of appreciating for who I was as a person. And then after giving birth to two kids, I realized that enough is enough. The damage which I did for myself, now the onus is on me to repair my body. Now this time in 2015 I went to my husband and I told him, now this is not how I want to end my story. I want to do something about my health, which I lost long back. He was always very supportive if I take an effort. He always wanted me to be a better version of myself. So he said, if you really want to do, I want to help you. I will support you. And from there, 2015, I started my journey into gym. And for one whole year, religiously, I did with no genes, no background of lifting weights or doing something like this. It was it was pain, struggle, toil of every kind. I would sit in gym and cry for hours for the pain which my body was taking, because I would always feel that why did I do such kind of damage in the first place? But I did not know what my life was actually looking forward to. And a chance run into a 10K event, my friend just suggested, you have to run with me, I am leaving from here and I want to take it as a memory that you run with me. So Pinkathon 10K I ran in 2015, and I did that. That was my first 10K with no training, just the gym warm up which I used to do on treadmill. I used to hate running like anything. And then I did that 10K in 53 minutes.
Wow.
And I did not know what 53 minutes, because I was not a runner then. And it came as a surprise to many runners who knew me. My God, you've done your first 10K in 53 minutes. And I was like, what are they saying? Because I did not know 53. What does it actually mean? And from there began my journey. And honestly, there is a saying that people say that when you truly want something, the universe conspires to help you in that direction. I honestly somehow started breathing fitness and transformation on making self-respect for myself, and I met so many people who helped me unconditionally in this journey. And from 10K to 21K to running so many in so many places, and also winning podiums in Bangalore, Delhi, and so many other places. So this is a journey which began with just wanting to do something for my health. So I want to say that no one has the best plan laid out for them. You just take the first step, and then when if you are consistent in doing it, there will always be something awaiting for you. So you should never give up on yourself.
No, absolutely. That's such a inspiring story. I'm pretty sure, that'll actually, inspire so many of them, out there. Thank you so much for that. And a sub 60, a first 10 kilometer, a sub 60 is just huge, in running terms. So
Thank
kudos
you.
to that. And, we've been following your journey, you've been consistently, getting the podiums and, all of that. So kudos to you. Keep that strength, that vigor going, and, keep inspiring all of us.
Thank you so much.
So great stuff. So, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of achievements which, might be there in your mind, and you actually spoke about your first 10K. That could be one of the, stronger memories. But any other memory or achievement that you actually want to, bring out, which, could actually sort of bring in that spark or that ignition of
Yes.
inspiration again?
So 2018 Bangalore Marathon was my first debut full marathon, 42 kilometer distance. I remember very distinctly that I had only seen a dream that I want to run a marathon. And honestly, when I speak about it right now, also I get goosebumps, because marathon is something which how many you would have run, but it will always have that some new element, some novelty will always be there. So you cannot tame that distance. You can just grow out of it, learn something new every single time you run. So I remember when I was training for my Bangalore Marathon 2018, my debut, the whole 5 months of my training was mired by a strange kind of shin pain. So I remember training through that pain. Yes, it is not advisable, but I would always take physio sessions along with it. And I did not even know from April, May, June, July, August, September, how October came, and I was through that training with that pain only. So I remember 2 days before the event, like that was on a Friday evening, I again got that severe pain, and I was very worried. With this kind of pain, I can't even think of running a 10K. How can I actually run a marathon distance? And honestly, because I was new to this, and it was I was feeling very vulnerable, and how could I do that, nervous. So I went to Dr. Ashish Kushawa, who had given me treatment during the whole time. And I just told him that I don't know, I want to run this race and I want to do good, because I have lived in pain through this 5 months and I don't want to give up right now. So he just gave me that acupuncture treatment and asked me to go home and relax. Saturday morning, I did just a 5K warm-up run to see if there is pain or not. thankfully there was no pain. So at the start line, when I was standing, when I was just thinking that this is the first time I will be running that distance, I left everything behind and just focused forward. I honestly don't remember getting that pain any single time during the run, and I just honestly I breezed through that distance. And when I touched the finish line, it was 3 hours 49 minutes. And
Wow.
when I crossed the finish line, I met a very prominent personality from Delhi. I forgot his name. I think he's Rad Strong Coaching. He asked me, how much distance, how much time did you clock? I said 3 hours 49. So he asked me, what is your previous best? I said, this is my personal best. This is my first marathon. And that time also, I did not know what is 3 hours 49 minutes. He said, my God, you must be kidding. For your first marathon, you have done 3:49. And then I just smiled at him and went ahead. And I started thinking, I only know the 5 months I have lived through pain. So when you see a dream, the onus of fulfilling it is only on you. And the hours of training, the mindset you build during that training helps you run that distance. It is not that you become the marathoner in a day when the race is there. You
Mhm.
become a person, you become in the process. So the focus should always be on becoming someone in the process, not on that particular day. In a ziffy, nothing happens. It's the whole process that turns your mindset into becoming an athlete. So this is something which is very, very memorable. And right now when I'm speaking, I'm like feeling so overwhelmed thinking about that time.
No, absolutely. I mean, this actually emphasizes on the point of, making running, your lifestyle. It's a journey. It's not, an instant sort of a gratification that you actually get.
Yes.
So kudos again, first marathon, sub 4, again, not, it can only be a dream for a lot of us. So kudos to you, and, keep going strong there. So just to sort of complement on that previous question, so what would your advice be to any runner? How do you actually prepare for a run, from a physical and a mental aspect? You did actually touch upon a few aspects, from the previous answer that you gave. But what would your preparation really be for a run from a mental and a
Yeah,
physical standpoint?
that's a very good question, Kushagra. So what happens is that if I know one thing, that getting up early in the morning and going for a run, you all the runners I think will resonate somewhere that running is something which always feels good when you are done with it.
Yeah.
And before that, it is always a battle between the mind and the body. So in order that I don't give any excuse in the morning, I have a habit. In the last 5 years, I don't remember a single day when I had not removed my set, my attire, what I'm going to wear tomorrow morning, so that when I get up and I see my clothes laid down outside, I don't give an excuse that it's raining outside, I'm feeling lethargic, or I'm tired. Because what happens is that night before, if you do that, you kind of give homework to your mind and you sleep over it. So when you sleep over it, the morning you get up, your mind is already prepared. This is just a small, I can say it's a trick,
Hmm.
tricking your mind. You have, in this journey of being an athlete or being a runner, a long distance runner, you need to be friend your mind. You cannot try to rule over mind. How you can make your mind your best friend? That happens when you start giving small rewards for whatever the mind is trying to cooperate with, and also preparing the mind in advance. And that happens the night before. Always there will be a struggle with the mind in the morning if you try and get up and think that, oh my God, today let me sleep a little longer. Because if you don't have people in your home who are running also, and they are snoring away to glory, and then it is really very difficult.
Yeah.
So you have to understand it's your journey, your ambition, your passion, and how you can feed it the right way. Feeding the right way is very important, and that happens when you just lay down your clothes, everything, your attire, whatever you're going to wear. So the next morning you have less chances of faltering. So this is one way. And honestly, on a physical level, what if you are asking, if you want me to suggest something, it is always very important to listen to your body. There are some days when your body is in sync, you have a great run. And there are some days when your body does not want to follow the routine. So on those days, it is very important that you take your body and run on the field. Always pressurizing or torturing your body, always having set pace and target does not work. Because we as human beings, we are amateur athletes, we are not professionals, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
have so many things going on in a day. We have our career, our family, and everything needs our time.
Yeah.
And because of that, we are all a ball of energy, and we are diverting our energy in different places. So running occupies just a small part, because we have other aspects also. So when you see that you had a long day at work, or your family needed your time, or you had to travel or do something, you can tweak your runs accordingly. So it's very important that you have to be flexible in your approach, as well as understand that on different days our bodies have different energy level, and you can just try to tone it that way as well. So these two things are very important.
So just to summarize, prepare yourself for the next morning, have a visualization map in your mind, and, always listen to your body from a physical standpoint. Some great takeaways there. So, right. So now comes my favorite part, the rapid fire round. So I hope you are prepared for the questions that I'm actually going to ask you. So you have to be, very prompt and instantaneous in answering these questions. So I'll have 6 questions for you. Yeah. So
Sure,
are we
sure.
ready?
Yeah.
So who's your favorite athlete or runner?
uh, in the recent times, I like Tim Sharma a lot, because
Mhm.
she has come out from a, like, she also has a great story behind, and I honestly like the way she trains. She has got uh, the way she trains is not like go full out all the time. I have learned from her to run slow to run fast. This is something. And she focuses on holistic aspect of running. She cycles also, she does yoga also, she does weight training also. So I like her attitude a lot.
No, absolutely. I follow her as well. So, absolutely bang on, one of the most preferred sort of athletes to, look up to.
Yes.
So great. Your preferred brand of shoes?
Adidas any day. Adidas. I have always trained in Adidas Adizero. Now I'm doing the Boston version of Adidas. It's a great pair of shoes. For, if honestly, I'm so possessive about that if my shoes are getting worn out, I want to order soon so that I don't run out of my running
Yeah.
shoes.
So great. So your preferred brand of attire on a race day or even practice run. So do you have any preferred brand of attire?
So I usually all my running clothes are from either Nike or Adidas. Honestly, it is, I would not say that you have to buy these. I always feel that whatever you can keep on buying, sustainability is very important. So if you buy a Nike and an Adidas and you feel that you can only have one or two pair, it is not important. You can train in clothes in which you feel comfortable, your skin is breathing well, and which you can keep on buying. So honestly, I have seen a lot of people wearing stuff from Decathlon, and they are value for money. They are economical, and they are value for money, and they are good also. So it is very good to understand that yes, I can train in certain clothes. You can keep on trying, and what works for you, it's all individualistic and personal.
Yeah, that's true. So are you a wearable person? Do you wear any wearables or any devices?
Honestly, I'm like like, I believe in being minimalist while running. I had started running with music and all that, but I gave it in the first 2 months itself, because I realized that I have to focus on my run. I can't do with music all around. So I only wear a cap, nothing else. Like, apart from what we wear, I don't have anything externally attached to what I'm doing when I'm running.
So no TomTom, no Garmin watches.
Watch is there, yes,
Yeah.
Garmin is there, but if you ask me recently, because we are not preparing for any races or anything like that, my Garmin gave way 2.5 months back. So the
Mhm.
day it got like, it got dead, and there is no repair situation in that, I was like, now what should I do? And I honestly do not want to invest. Then I asked myself this question, Sapna, how can how much does a technology influence how you feel, right? So I am just saying this because we all are in different phases of evolution. Right now I am experimenting my runs without having a look at the pace and the timing and all that. So I definitely have a this mobile when I'm running, but I keep it in my pouch. Now I have recently started doing that. So I put on my Strava. But when I keep it in my pouch, I'm not seeing the time, right? The pace and all that. So basically, this phase of my life in running now, I am experimenting to run on the field so that my body has a connection with how I am feeling and running, and not being governed by a watch. I have always run with Garmin, and this, when my Garmin gave way, allowed me to give me an opportunity to run without something which is technical.
No, great, great, fantastic. So you mentioned that music is not something that is sort of attached to you while running. So I'm not really going to ask you that question then. So any preferred nutritional supplements or hydration packs that you prefer?
So during my training runs, it is the good old chicky,
Mm-hmm.
orange, and banana. These three. But if I am preparing for if I'm preparing for marathon, and I have to if I am going to use gels, so 2-3 training runs I take Unibed gels. So I try to train in them so that my body can absorb it and knows that what I am having it. But otherwise, on my shorter runs, it's mostly water, and my longer runs, the chicky, banana, and oranges are what I do. Otherwise, for training for races, I take Unibed gels. Nothing else.
Chicky and oranges are my favorite as well. So great choice.
Yes, and they're cheap too.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming down to suggestions for maybe upcoming runners, or maybe runners who understand this sport a little bit, but maybe going wrong in terms of either choosing their gear or their shoes. So I'll ask you one by one these questions, and maybe if you could actually give us your recommendations or any best practices or
Sure.
references again. So what gear should an ideal runner really choose?
So it all depends on what kind of runner you are. Have you recently started running? If you have recently started running, don't try to invest too much into, for just try and explore your love for running just by running and seeing how you feel. So we all have our mobile phones. You can download Strava. There are so many apps for running now. And if you have gone into that zone where you understand that running is going to stay in your life, then you can have a watch which records your timing and your pace and all everything. You can go for Garmin. I have been a Garmin user. It's a good brand, and it's great. So you can use that. Apart from that, for shoes also, I would say that initially, if you start running, you should see how much you distance. If you are running shorter distance, I don't want you to invest too much into shoes, because what happens is that mostly when you start running, you start giving too much of an attention to things which are external to running. See,
Mhm.
running is something internal. You are
Yeah.
doing that with your heart, with your body. So we think we'll become a better runner by having a watch or by having a world class shoes. They are only going to make you feel good for a day, or maybe for some time, to show off in your circle or community. It happens to all of us at certain point in time, but honestly, what is going to stay is your love for running. That is non-negotiable, and that you cannot buy from anywhere. So try to keep yourself minimalist in your expectations from what you want to buy and all that, and later on, as you grow into running, you can always seek suggestions from people who are pro in this.
Great, fantastic. Now, from a fluid nutrition, diet, and supplement perspective, any thoughts around that for upcoming runners, or maybe somebody
Yes.
who is out there but doesn't have a sense of direction in
Yeah,
terms of
yeah.
what to really sort of intake? So, can you just lay
Yeah.
some emphasis
So,
on that?
so regarding hydration, it's very, very important that you understand that whatever you are drinking during running is not that important as what you are drinking the day before. So keep yourself hydrated. By hydrated, I don't mean like chugging endless amount of water. You should know it from the color of your urine. If
Hmm.
you are passing out urine and it is yellow in color, you are already dehydrated. So make sure to have a check. For different people have different hydration levels. Why? Because we are sweating differently. So if a person sweats more, his demands, needs, body's needs are different, and mine are different. So try and take care of your hydration the day before, or in a normal day. Try and keep yourself hydrated, and the signal is the color of your urine. As also, during the run, take small sips of water. It is very important. People say that they ran this much distance without water. They might try out their limits, how much they can run without water, but why it is needed in the first place? If you have a bottle of water, you can always take some small sips, because what happens is that many people have issues of getting cramps because of loss of electrolytes and salt in the body. So why you have to go to that extent? Because cramps are really painful. So if you keep your electrolytes up, if you keep your salt intake up, if you keep your hydration level good, you will not go to that point, because there are people who have experienced extreme cramps and they're not able to run because the muscles get so tight, and you don't feel like how can you move the next step. It generally happens in races when there is a lot of humidity. So always try and keep yourself up with your hydration, and uh, don't overdo it also. That's very, very important. So striking a balance is important. How do you know where is your balance? The answer to this question is trial and error. Each one of us are different, so there is no set protocol that I can say which anyone can follow here. The only thing which will work in your favor is by understanding to get in sync with your body, and that happens when you keep trying. Okay, I drank this much. Okay, I felt good while taking electrolytes. Okay, I did not feel good. So over a period of some time, you will understand how your body is behaving. That's very important.
No, some great thoughts there, great tips. Now back again to rapid fire. So I'm going to ask you 10 tips. Okay, 10 tips for runners, and you need to be really fast and furious in terms of giving those tips. So your time starts now.
Okay, so the number one is you are your own competition. Don't compare yourself to anyone else, because you are running for yourself, not for anyone else. When you start as a runner, please don't look at the timing. Don't get intimidated by someone who is running faster than you, because I have seen runners saying that not as fast as you. Why is there a need for you to feel smaller in front of a person who is running faster? You are running for yourself, right? And if you start feeling small about something which is so beautiful, running, then honestly the output what you are going to get from it will always be limited. You should always aim to progress. You should always aim to be better, but it all takes time. So don't forget that patience is the most important key in your journey to being a runner. Fifth, carb loading is good, but you are running a certain distance only. Your body has that energy. So spoiling or abusing whatever you are eating in the name of carb loading is not good. For 10K distance or a smaller distance, for even a half marathon, if you have trained well enough, carb loading is just a fancy word. I feel that, because if you keep on giving your body over and above what it is needed, you will never put your body through that limit which it can sustain. So try and give your body that examination and see how it feels. Then one more thing here, the minimalist thing which I am saying, that all the fancy things in running, whatever comes along with running is good, but your love for running is the most important thing which you have. So try and invest inwards rather than wasting money outwards. So be minimalist and just enjoy. I think I'm already done with 6. Try and always run in your native place. Always run, spread in the community that you are doing running, and it brings so much of joy. So more and more people learn. So going back to the place, you might be staying in a different place, but if there is a race organized in your native place, you should go there and run. And if you are not running a race, you should support your fellow runners. It is very, very important, because we draw a lot of strength from people cheering for you. So it's not only about yourself, me, myself. It is about community. It is about that spirit.
Great.
And honestly, when you are just in the feeling tired from your run, and if someone claps and tells your name, that brings that different kind of energy which Enerzal or electrolytes will not give. So investing in that community feeling is also very, very important. 8 is, yes, nutrition is I will say here one very important thing, Kushagra, that I have seen. I have nothing against it. Yes, you should enjoy. Life is nothing without fun. But if you run a distance and then you think that you have earned this, you better do this. So I feel that it's okay to have fun, but within limits. So balance is very important. You should train and fuel yourself to eat, and not run because you have to eat. It's very, very important. I have great respect for running, and I don't honestly feel that it is right to abuse your body with whatever you can eat just because you are running. So you should feel that you are training and you are fueling, and not you are doing something just because you want to eat more. So these are some of the tips. And one most important thing is that whenever you feel that your body needs rest, give it, because whenever you are running or training for long hours, your body is supporting you. The body has its inherent limitation, which you don't want to, because you have that focus that I want to achieve this timing, I want to do this. But there are times when body needs rest. Rest recovery is an essential and non-negotiable part of your training. It is not outside training, it is within training. So please rest and recover whenever the body feels tired.
Fantastic. So rapid fire once again. So 5 races that you would sort of recommend or participate.
Mumbai Marathon, Hyderabad Marathon, Delhi Marathon, your native place running, and also the place where you are staying. It's very important to run local, 5 places.
Fantastic. And your future goals for running?
Okay, this is very, very dear, very, very close to my heart. I have not shared it with anyone, but because you have asked, and I can't lie about this. I want to run a sub 3:30 marathon with plant-based food. So
Wow.
I have recently turned plant-based in the last 6 months during the lockdown, and I realized that the energy of my body and how I feel, how I execute my runs is completely different. It's not only about running; it's how you feel in your body, in your mind. So now I don't know when this dream will come. One day when it will come, I'll surely remember that I spoke about this in this platform. But I want to do a sub 3:30 marathon with plant-based food, so that people know that even plant-based food can fuel your workouts and can get you the targets which you want.
Fantastic. So one final one before we sign out, one success mantra that you would want to leave, for the audience here today that will actually sort of inspire them. I know you're an advocate of mindfulness as well. So you want to maybe align mindfulness to your success mantra in any way?
Yeah, definitely. This is a very beautiful question. I will say one thing. It's very, very important to have goals, ambitions, targets, desires, dreams, passion, all things. Everything has its place in our life. But you have to be very, very mindful in understanding what you want. Is it giving you some life purpose, or is it consuming you? So the process which you follow to achieve a goal should not consume you. It should kind of enrich you, should make you feel better. So if you are aiming to do a certain things and the whole process is burning you out, where is the joy?
Yeah.
Where is the joy, right? So never forget to have fun while doing it. It will be difficult. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but ask yourself the limit to which you are stretching yourself. Is it bringing balance and harmony in other aspects of your life? Because honestly, for us, running is amateur, right? And it is
Yes.
a hobby, it's a passion. We cannot identify ourselves with that. Running is what you do, it's not who you are, right? So it is very important that you derive a balance in your life and see that the purpose should not consume you. You should feel that you are becoming a better human rather than the process consuming you. This is something which I would like to share. I have always
You
felt
beautifully
that this
put.
is very
Beautifully put, Sapna. So thank you so much for your time today at RunMonks and sharing some great insights and best practices, which I'm sure will actually help many of us in terms of our running goals and aspirations and getting into that Zen mode, as we actually call it. So thank you so much for coming into RunMonks and sharing your thoughts. Thank you.
It's a privilege for me to be here and absolute honor. Thank you so much, Kushagra, for calling me here and sharing my thoughts. And it was a wonderful time here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.